for the fofo. This for the fofo. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them goats. All from the fofo over that goat. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah. So let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva. Them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcon. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And Connie got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.
Good morning, Ashtabula, YSN Network, and all who are watching. Sam Torres here from the 440 Sports Show. It is Tuesday, March 7th, and we're back for another edition of the 440 Sports Show, Ashtabula's only morning sports talk show. Hope everybody's doing pretty good this morning. I know I woke up, looked out the window, and I see that it looks like somebody left the air conditioner on all night last night, as the ground is completely covered in snow. You know, the beautiful thing about Ohio is we keep winter all the way for about 9 months a year, it seems like. But here we are, you know, as we get into baseball season, hopefully we can knock this snow out before we start missing games. Today's show, we've got a lot of cool stuff we're going to be talking about. Number one, the first thing we're going to get into is this senior basketball game tonight. It's going to be happening at Edgewood High School. You're going to be able to find that right here on ysnlive.com. Yours truly, I will be on the call. Really looking forward to that one. We're going to talk a little bit about how the teams kind of finished the year this year. All the basketball teams, we're going to talk about their records and that sort of deal with, you know, how their basketball seasons all ended up. I know we've got 5 wrestlers heading down to state next week. We'll get some more information on those guys and girls. And jump into those wrestlers a little bit later on this week. Then when we get done with talking about basketball, we're going to do our first team breakdown of the year, our first baseball team breakdown. And we're going to start off the year with the Edgewood Warriors. So that's going to be toward the tail end of the show. We're going to get into the Edgewood Warriors, talk a little bit about what they did last year. Look through some of their schedule, talk about some of their players that are coming back, just do kind of a preview. I'm really excited this year. I've got a couple interviews lined up for the local area coaches. You know, that way we can get their perspective on what they're thinking this year and some of the things they're looking forward to for this upcoming baseball season. I am very, very excited about baseball and softball this year, as that coverage is going to increase. We're going to try and get, you know, weather permitting, we're going to try and get at least, you know, 2 or 3 games a week done from local teams in this area. So if you're looking for baseball, make sure you're keeping your eyes tuned to ysnlive.com, as well as over on the 440 Sports page. We'll be keeping all that stuff right there available for you. But let's start off the show right. Let's get right into what we're doing tonight, starting at 5:30 for this Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Senior Classic. Girls tip-off is going to be at 5:30, and the boys tip-off is going to be at 7:30. Going to be a 3-point shootout at halftime for each one of the games as well. There'll obviously be some MVPs. Admission going to be $7 for adults and $5 for students. Hopefully everybody can make it out today. It's going to be a really fun event. I know that we got a chance to cover this last year, and it was an absolute blast. These kids get out there and have a really, really great time. Let's go right into some of the rosters that you're going to see out there. Let's start off with Team Black, which is going to be coached by Coach John Bowler over at Edgewood High School. And I really can't say enough about this man. I think he does just a phenomenal job of coaching young men and getting the very, very most out of his team. Edgewood was a force to be reckoned with this year. Unfortunately, their tournament journey ends as they head up against Ursuline, who consequently was surprised. I believe was a surprise as they take a loss to Gilmore Academy in the district championship game. That was one of those games. We talk about head scratchers early on in the year for some of the Ashtabula County teams. For me, that was a bit of a head scratcher. I thought that Ursuline had everything that they needed to win that ball game, but credit is due to Gilmore Academy as they went out and got the job done against a very, very tough Ursuline Fighting Irish. But let's get back into this senior basketball classic. So Ben Answervitz from Conneaut going to be playing in this game, and this is one of those things that I think is just great that this young man's going to get back on the court. He falls victim to what I've said before, and I will say until my last breath, I think it's an unfair transfer rule. And Ben Answervitz transfers from Lakeside to Conneaut, and because of that, ends up having to lose half of his season. I'm not sure who that helps. I don't know why that's a rule. I hope that someday in the future, I know we're getting closer and closer to, they've added more and more circumstances where you can transfer from one school to another without losing games. I personally believe that wherever a parent feels that their son or daughter can be most successful is where their son or daughter should be allowed to go, free of any consequences. If you feel like your son or your daughter can thrive in another environment, then you should be free to take them there without the fear of them losing experiences that they're only going to get to live through for 4 years. That's a soapbox on that. But Ben Answervitz coming out, floor general point guard. Nate Boyarski, the chef, going to be cooking one more time in the kitchen. You're also going to get a chance to see him in the YSN All-Star game. And I'm so excited that I finally get to start saying some of the names as those responses are coming in. By the day, those responses are coming in. The one I know for sure coming into that's going to be playing in that game, Nate Boyarski from Grand Valley going to be in there, which is just awesome. That's that I can getting Ashtabula represented. Getting Ashtabula represented in this YSN All-Star game, I think, is paramount. I think it's a great opportunity for these kids. Going to get to play on the big court at the Begley Center at YSU. We're going to get into that a little bit later. Angelo Colazzo, the senior from Lakeside, going to be on the court. Cam Crockett, Captain Chaos from Lakeside, going to be on the court tonight. Daniel Hall from Geneva. Luke Harvey from PV. Jamil Haynes from Lakeside. And I said yesterday, and I'm extending it again, the challenge has been dropped. Jamil Haynes, I know you can fly. I know you can dunk that basketball. I know that you are a big-time playmaker. So I am putting a challenge out to you tonight for you to create a highlight that's going to make it all over the social medias, all over the Instagram, Facebook page. I need Jamil Haynes above the rim. Catch you a body, young man. Get you a dunk tonight. Jamil Haynes, here is the challenge. A second challenge going to be issued here as well to Anthony Kasicek from Geneva, Ohio. Geneva, you look at Anthony Kasicek, he's a point guard that played for the Eagles for 4 years. He's been a primary guy. Not a guy that when you see him walk on the court, you're going to think, oh, I bet you that kid can dunk, but he most certainly can. He's got bunnies for days. So the challenge is extended to you as well. Get up above that rim. Let's make a play tonight. Let's make a memory tonight. So you and Jamil, I need dunks from both of those guys. Nathan Costin coming in there from Conneaut. James Montanaro, the quiet storm from Edgewood. He is an absolute sniper from the arc. Really looking forward to getting to watch him. Jimmy Robles from Lakeside. Zach Venzel. I expect a whole bunch from him as well. This is a guy who, honest to God, I think he could average 30 points per game if he wanted to, but he's just a kid who's not selfish, tries to get his team involved, and because of that, Edgewood won a lot of basketball. And Ty Venzel from Edgewood as well. Moving over to Team Orange, which is going to be coached by Ryan Shantz, and the same thing I said about Coach Bowler, I want to extend to Coach Shantz. Coach Shantz, 20 wins this year. PV, a small school right here in Ashtabula County at the southern tip, goes out there, wins the NAC, gets the job done, largely because of Coach Shantz and his ability to pull the very best out of his players. He's done it for years and years and years. I remember a couple of years ago, I've said before, you talk about the Wilkerson and Rhodes and Inman days out there in PV. PV is not new to this, but they are true to this. Basketball is the real deal in Andover, and every time you go in there, it's a tough game, and largely because of Ryan Shantz. And who better to start this list off than with the Tower of Power, the Iron Giant, Tyler Britton from Pymatumi Valley, going to be on his team. Ryan Kalitzis from Grand Valley, Ty Hamilton from Lakeside, Larry Ham, the 6'4" forward from Conneaut. Larry Ham's a guy who, with his height, his wingspan, his athletic ability, has a ton of ability to change shots, block shots, get into passing lanes. I'm really looking forward to watching that young man tonight. Gavin Hedrick from Conneaut going to be playing the game. Jesus Hernandez from St. John, who, if you ask me, I think when it comes to the post players in this area, when it comes to the bigs, I think Jesus is, I believe his footwork is untouchable. I think he's the best out here. When he gets down in the post, I think his ability to kind of, excuse me, when he gets down in the post, his ability to shake off defenders, make the right move, whether it's spinning to the basket or away from the basket, always opening up shots for him. Caden Hetzmanberger, he's going to be playing for Lakeside. If I am not mistaken, I believe Caden Hetzmanberger had his season shortened due to an injury when we covered him early in the year, unfortunately, getting injured on the floor. It was something that you never want to see for anybody. We want to see every kid out here thrive. Grant Hitchcock from Jefferson. You know what I mean? Grant Hitchcock, purebred athlete. That's all he is. He's going to go out there. He's going to make plays wherever he's at. This is a top-level elite athlete. John Moschel from PV, the sharpshooter. Christian Rogers from Jefferson. Jimmy Severino, the shooting guard from St. John. Landon Spencer from Grand Valley. And Deshaun, the leader, Williams. Deshaun had to take on a leadership role with Lakeside this year. And, this is a kid who has played with some of the best in the business out there. He played with Brandon Ford and on those teams, and those teams were really, really great. And I think a lot of pressure was put on Williams to become the main scoring threat. And because he was the main scoring threat, I think defenses really zoned in on him and made sure that, I always call it Kobe ball. Everybody else on the team can beat us except you. They're going to, or they're going to, they're going to try and make everybody else make plays. Well, Deshaun Williams, found a way this year to get the job done. And look for him. I'm not going to say 100% sure. Look for him maybe in another All-Star game as well. As those confirmations come in, make sure you're paying attention to the social media pages, as we will be updating them there. Moving over to the young ladies, Colleen Anderson from St. John. She's a phenomenal guard, gets to the rim very, very quickly for the Heralds. Joanna Anik a rebounding machine for Edgewood. Shayna Calloway for Grand Valley. Casey Kanicki, who is arguably not just one of the best girl basketball players. Casey Kanicki might be one of the best basketball players I've gotten the honor of getting to watch. She's one that it's just been fun to watch her and watch that whole team develop. This team, Team Black, coached by Tom Rattari from Conneaut High School. Tatum Martinez from Jefferson. Melina Moody from Jefferson. Eva Oster from St. John. Eva Oster did a phenomenal job this year for the Heralds, rebounding, just keeping drives alive. Those offensive rebounds are really probably the most underrated part of basketball. Lainey Passanen from Conneaut. She's a coach's kid, so you're not going to find very many young ladies with an understanding of the game than her. Cora Zalai from Conneaut. Willow Twining, Giovanna Victor, and Kaylee Williams are going to round out the Team Black for this Senior Classic. Now moving over to Team Orange, Coach Randy Venzel, who is another one I said last week. I will say it again. I think Randy Venzel is very much Coach of the Year material. I think what Randy Venzel did with the Edgewood Warriors girls basketball team this year is nothing short of fantastic. He was able to get these girls out there, 19 wins, just a great season. Getting the most. That was a team that was so disciplined. They really followed the game to a T. It was just really fun getting to watch those girls. Coming up for Team Orange, Caitlin Bean from Conneaut, Tamor Hoskin from Lakeside, Kaiden Housel from St. John, Carly James from Grand Valley, who's a sharpshooter, I do know. Ava Leninger from Jefferson, Sydney McKinney from Grand Valley, Brianna Melaragno from Edgewood, Elena Nesparenko from PV, who was an absolute bucket for the Lakers this year, really getting the job done. Harley Schellenberger from St. John, Tori Skarupa from Edgewood, and Darby Skaita from Jefferson. Now, these are just the regular Senior Classic game rosters. There's also going to be a three-point contest in this one. And we're going to talk about that three-point contest. Kaylee Williams from Geneva going to be taking on Cora Zalai in the first round. Elena Nesparenko going to be taking on Colleen Anderson in the first round. Casey Kanicki taking on Melina Moody for Jefferson in the first round. Carly James and Tamor Hoskin from Carly James from Grand Valley and Tamor Hoskin from Lakeside going on in the first round. There's a lot of great shooters in this game right here, or in this three-point contest. I think it's going to be a really fun match to watch. I think the obvious favorite in this one has got to be Casey Kanicki. She was like a 38% three-point shooter on the year. But my favorite part of these all-star games, these Senior Classics, these three-point shootouts, is anything can happen. All of these girls can shoot the rock. So all you got to do is get hot, get the feel for the ball, and when the shots start dropping, it is truly a magical thing. The boys also going to take part in the three-point shootout. Zach Venzel going to be taking on Nathan Costin in the first round. Grant Hitchcock taking on Jimmy Severino. John Michelle taking on Anthony Kasichik. And Landon Spencer taking on Deshaun Williams. I think there's a slight favorite in this one as well. I think if I have to pick who I think has got a great shot at winning this game or winning this three-point contest, I think Venzel's the guy. He's another one who can just flat out knock the ball down. But I can comfortably say every one of these guys I can see going to the final. Every one of these guys I can see winning this shootout. They all 8 of these kids can really shoot the ball very, very well. It's gonna be a blast, guys, and it's gonna be on tonight at starting at 5:30. Starting at 5:30, we're gonna be live from Edgewood High School. make sure you get out here and support these seniors. These kids worked very, very hard. It's a great opportunity for them to come out and play the game. The 3-point contest just makes everything a lot better for me. I love stuff like that. I wish we had enough high flyers that we could get a dunk contest out here, but this ain't the year. So, tonight, make sure you're coming. I'm going to run this on the screen again. 5:30 is the girls tip-off, with 7:30 being the boys tip-off. It's going to be broadcast right here on ysnlive.com. If you want to see it in person, which is the best way to watch it, head down to Edgewood High School. They always do just a great job with holding events, maintaining basketball events. Really, really looking forward to this one. 5:30, we're going to be over there. It's senior classic time for the Ashtabula Basketball Foundation. We got another event coming up later on this year. On March 25th, we're going to the YSN All-Star Game live at the Begley Center, 224 West Spring Street in Youngstown, Ohio. Starting at 5:30 with the girls, and the boys are going to tip off right thereafter. This one's going to be streamed right to ysnlive.com. You're going to have 2023's best basketball players all in one place, and I feel like I can comfortably say that because YSN right now as a network, 60-plus schools, 60-plus high schools, all going to be taking part in this All-Star game. It's really going to be fun. We're going to have representation not only on the player end, we're going to have representation on the coaching end as well. I'm waiting for some confirmation on that. I cannot wait to make this announcement about one of the coaches who's going to be taking part in this one. It's really going to be just an awesome, awesome game. Mark your calendar. And the cool thing about this one, as compared to the Senior Classic, is this is not senior dependent. This is all about who's the best player on your team. If you got a freshman that's out there killing the game, guess what? You're an all-star, baby. So we're going to get all the best basketball players all from Northeast Ohio right here on the court at YSU. And if you've never been to Youngstown State and seen their basketball court, I suggest you do. It's a really fun, it's a big area. They do a beautiful job with it. I can't wait. I get giddy talking about this. I'm going to get to be on the broadcast for the boys game for this, so I'm really excited about that. I get to be with my good friend and fellow broadcaster, Ty Bartell, on there. We had a good time calling games in Vegas together, so I'm really looking forward to getting to do that again. You're going to have Anthony Hartwig and Richie Giuliano on the girls game, so that's chef's kiss. Grade A commentary right there, broadcasting. This is going to be a great event. Make sure you head down to the Begley Center on March 25th for the YSN All-Star Game with Ashtabula teams, with Ashtabula athletes taking part this year. I wanted to see it on here. I do want to bring up the final standings, and these brought to you by ysnlive.com/standings. So for all of your questions about what teams are doing what scores are where, you're going to find those all on ysnlive.com. ysnlive.com has become your one-stop shop for all things high school sports. And these are going to be the final standings for the CVC. So as you can tell, Richmond Heights on the boys' side, Richmond Heights goes 22-0, and I don't think they're going to lose a game this year. That's over there in that Chagrin Valley division. But let's talk about the Lake division, as that's really our teams right here in the county. Perry going 16-5, Edgewood 13-9, Geneva 8-14, and kudos to Geneva, who really recovered from a slow start to finish the year with 8 games and 8 wins. Lakeside goes 6-16. It was the waters were troubled for Lakeside as well, and Coach Newsome and that coaching staff out there really gets those kids to pull together, and they almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but you got to take progress for what it is. Coming to a very, very close game with Perry, the number 1 team in the conference at the end of the year. I truly believe had they pulled anybody but Stowe Monroe Falls, Lakeside would have won that first round of their tournament game. And then Harvey finishing 5-17. Over on the girls' side, Perry goes 17-5, so it's a clean sweep for the Pirates this year in basketball. Edgewood right behind them, 18-3. Going 6-2 in their conference. Geneva 7-13. Harvey 4-16, and Lakeside has a tough year. Looking for a win in the tournament, but they didn't get it there either. They go 0-22. So, the good thing about that is the only way to go is up from there. So, take a lesson from all things. Moving over to another conference that affects this area, we're going to talk about NAC. Again, these NAC standings brought to you by www.ysnlive.com. You can find all of the best and the most accurate and verified sports information right on ysnlive.com. www.ysnlive.com. On the boys' side, the PV Lakers reign supreme, 19-3, 12-1 conference record, with their one conference loss coming by way of Fairport. Badger right behind them, 17-5. Matthews 14-8. Fairport Harding 9-13, and Maplewood 9-12. Over on the in the Stripes division, you've got Wyndham going 13-9, Bristol going 13-9, Chalker 7-15. St. John goes 5-16 this year, 3-10 in the conference, which is an improvement for them last year. Last year they had a very, very tough year. I think those kids really have some stuff going. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah, you got to love live, baby. You got to love live. All right, anyway. St. John really getting the job done there toward the end of the year. Got some big wins, including a huge win over Lordstown that we got to cover right here on the network. Over on the girls' side, Badger goes 18-4 with a 14-0, a perfect conference record. PV right behind them, 14-8 with a 10-3 conference record, followed by Matthews, Fairport Harding, and Maplewood. Over in the Stripes division for the girls, Chalker 15-7, Wyndham 16-15, Bristol goes 11-11, St. John 8-14, and Lordstown 0-19. St. John girls basketball is another one of those programs that has really picked it up this year. They are only going to get better. Look for this team next year to finish no worse than second in this conference. And I think that they have a very, very good shot at winning the whole doggone thing. But congratulations. I want to send a personal congratulations to all of the Ashtabula County basketball teams. It was an absolutely magical season. I was honored to get to cover all of you. I was honored to get to cover your games and broadcast and really put a shine to all the hard work that you guys did this year. And God willing, I'll be doing it for the next few years to come. But, keep plugging away. To all the seniors, best of luck in your careers, whether that includes more basketball or just going out and getting your college degrees or whatever you're going to do to be a successful adult. We're going to go to a break. And when we come back from the break, we are going to be talking about some Edgewood baseball. Edgewood going to be the first team we talk about with baseball this year. Really looking forward to that. There's some great baseball that's going to be coming up here very, very soon, as soon as the weather breaks, that's for sure. But we're going to start our break off with our friends over at Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren. Driven by you.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam Torres here from the 440 Sports Show. It is Tuesday, March 7th. Welcome to Ashtabula's number one and only morning sports talk show. We have been talking about basketball since this show has started. We've given the wrestlers some love as well. Now it's time to take me out to the ball game. We are going to get into some baseball talk, and we're going to start it with none other than the Edgewood Warriors. I cannot express enough how excited I am about baseball this year. Last year, we got a chance to cover probably in the neighborhood of six to 8 games. This year, the goal for right here on 440 and Goal, we want 2 to 3 baseball or softball games per week. So look for a ton of baseball coverage right here. It's really going to be an outstanding year. And it's going to be an outstanding year of baseball, and we're going to start with an outstanding team in baseball. You know, I've talked a lot about St. John, and their preview is coming up here shortly as well. We're also going to have a preview with their head coach. I've got some other head coaches I'm working on at the moment, so just kind of keep tight. But let's talk about the Edgewood Warriors baseball team with a 2022 record of 18-5. Head coach Jeff Barger really did the job last year. This was a team that really was a fun team to watch. They had a ton of talent. Every time they went out there, they played to the best of their ability. And, we got to cover a ton of them. I love going over to Edgewood. They got a really great setup to stream the game, to watch the game. Shout out to athletic director Steve Cray. Not just here, but in everything. Always just doing an awesome job and helping us help you guys. It's just a great thing. You look at this Edgewood schedule, it's a ton of home and aways. Going back and forth with them. Crestwood, another one of a YSN family member. They're going to start the season off at Crestwood and then come home, play them again. Harvey. All these games that you see with the little stars on them, starting with Geneva, are games that have a high potential of being streamed right here on YSN, assuming two things. We have coverage and the weather is going to hold up. The one game that I can put a special circle on right there for sure is this first one on April 7th. We will be, as long as the game happens, we will be showing the Edgewood Warriors taking on the Geneva Eagles at home. That game will be happening right here on YSN Live. Lakeside is another one. High potential for that game to be streamed here. And we will be, just like always, I will be releasing the game schedule at the beginning of the week because things change. But as those things become available, that's another game. Look forward to that on April 10th versus Lakeside at home. April 11th, they're going to take on Cardinal at home. The 12th, they're going to Cardinal. 15th, they're going to take on Conneaut at home. Another one of those games that's a double circle, asterisk. That's most likely going to be streamed right here on YSN Live by 440 Sports Show. They're going to do a home and away with Grand Valley, going to Jefferson, which I meant there should be a star there too. Assuming the weather holds out, we're going to be making our debut in Jefferson this year. They got a really great setup out there for baseball, and I'm looking forward to getting out there. Starting on April 24th, they got a home and away versus Kirtland. May 2nd, taking on PV at home. That will be there for that. On May 4th, they're going to be taking on Howland, who I believe is another one of our YSN brethren. And then a home and away versus Berkshire before the final Battle of the Bridge of the 2022-2023 season versus Lakeside at Lakeside. With Lakeside, we're going to do our very best to get over there, get some more baseball coverage. There's our friend, Ryan Cole. Isn't Edgewood traveling to Virginia Beach or Myrtle Beach for games for a tournament? So they are traveling to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's the Youngstown or the YSN teams that are actually going to Myrtle Beach. But Edgewood is going to be heading to Pigeon Forge to play in a big tournament there. I don't know how those tournament games necessarily tie in to the high school schedule, and somebody a lot smarter than me, I'm sure, will let me know or comment. But they are traveling. They're heading over to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, I believe on the 25th, actually, of March. All right, I want to get into, we'll start with the players that they lost. And the players that they lost, even though they only lose one player in Ben Welty, it's a huge player to lose. Ben Welty is, honestly, he should have been infielder first and then pitcher second. He is really a catch-all. He is whatever you needed him to do, he could do. He's a lengthy infielder, does a great job, did a great job on the infield. He could play outfield for you. He could, start a game, provide relief. This kid, Ben Welty, was just a pure baseball player. And then on top of all that, he's a leader. Last year he was a senior and he goes out there, gets the job done. Every time that kid took the diamond, every single time that kid took the diamond, he made a difference. And, he hit well, he could bunt well. It's a big loss for Edgewood by losing him to, that graduation. Although I'm sure he's out there getting the job done as an adult now. And, best of luck as he continues through his journey. But let's talk about the laundry list of returning players coming back for the Edgewood Warriors this year. And if I missed anybody, I want to be the first one to apologize sincerely. This list has been put together through notes that I kept from covering games last year. So these are just some of the kids that, made some stats, stood out, had, memorable stories from just the games I covered. I'm sure that there are plenty of players that are going to make a difference, but these are the guys that for the 440 Sports Show think are going to make a pretty big difference this year. We're going to start off with Ethan Dietrich. And Ethan Dietrich is a pitcher and an infielder, and pitcher definitely comes first with this kid. He is a fireballer. he picks his place where he wants to throw the ball. He has a nasty, and I mean exclamation point nasty pickoff move. I watched this kid pick off players more than any regular pitcher here in this county last year. Ethan Dietrich is going to be a big time returning player for Edgewood this year. He's a great pitcher, gets the job done on the mound. He also can hit the ball. He's a great hitter. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I think he batted cleanup for them last year. He's a heck of a player. He's a heck of a player and a heck of a guy to come back this year. And then we got to move over to touchdown Tony Hall. Tony Hall gains that nickname during football season this year. But just as he is under center, and he's kind of the maestro of the football team, he's the catcher for the baseball team. And as a catcher, I'm not sure that there are too many kids out there better than him. He blocks the ball incredibly well. He does a great job of keeping runners in place. He's got a pretty good arm too, which is I think why he naturally transitions over to being a quarterback. He's able to get the ball to second, which to me is one of the hardest throws to make in all of sports. It's a long throw, and you got a lot of fast kids. But Tony Hall coming back this year, last year he gets his bat together too. Able to go out there and get some hits and his speed increasing and really just becoming a much more well-rounded baseball player. Tony Hall going to be the catcher. That's a huge return for the Edgewood Warriors. Logan Cray, first baseman and pitcher. So as you can see, I put first baseman first because Logan Cray going to be their second arm this year. And just because he's their second arm doesn't mean it's any less quality. Logan Cray is somebody who I think understands the game of baseball at a very, very deep level. I've never seen a more calm and cool, collected kid than Logan Cray when he's on the baseball field. I have seen them. Edgewood is actually that's hilarious. I'll tell you what, that would be fun. I don't know how Cray would feel about that, but but Logan Cray. So Logan Cray, I have seen them put that kid in situations where he had to start. I have seen them put him in situations late in the game. I have seen them put him in, to pitch in situations where maybe one of the other pitchers was having a tough day on the mound and they needed some relief. Every time they put him on the mound, he gets the job done, stays calm, stays cool, stays collected. One of my favorite things about baseball and sports in general, other than watching the kids, is watching how nervous the parents get. And I can remember being in the press box and seeing Logan Cray's parents, one of his parents, I won't tell you which, literally biting their fingernails as he gets put into a game in a high intensity situation. And he goes out there, throws an absolute dart, strikes the kid out. Boom. We'll see you later. That's going to be the end of it. Great job. He does a great job playing infield on first base. I think he actually moonlights at shortstop as well. Aiden Hernandez is another infielder that's coming back this year for the Edgewood Warriors. He's a kid that, is going to have to play a bigger role for Edgewood this year. He was a starter last year, playing some second base for the Warriors last year. Hitting was up and down, but it was something that you could tell he was working on. With the loss of Ben Welty, a primetime infielder, a primetime spot in the batting order, I think you're going to look for guys like Aiden Hernandez to kind of step into that role, not directly into that role, but they're going to have to step up their game so they can kind of cushion the blow of losing that kid. And he's got the talent to do it. This is a kid with a sure glove. When his his hitting continues to come around, I think he's going to be a big time name to be talking about here in baseball. Brady Anderjack is a kid that I'm not sure where they're going to be playing him on the infield. I'm thinking maybe shortstop. He is rangy. This is a rangy offensive player in the field. His ability to cover a ton of ground with the glove really makes him a valuable piece this year for Edgewood. And I say all this understanding that he very well could be starting in right field on the first game. These are just things that I saw from last year. I don't claim to be a baseball guru, just stuff that I'm seeing. Zach Venzel, who I'm so sorry, it's not an H, it's a K. He is their outfielder. They call the kid Sticks. He's their center fielder. Covers an incredible amount of outfield. He's got a great speed. He's got a great glove. He's another one. He's a great slap hitter too. He's able to get on base, and when he gets on base, does an absolute monster of a job. Stealing bases, that sort of thing. Being that he is a senior this year, he is going to be looked at as well for that leadership role. I think when you're talking about somebody stepping into the role of Ben Welty, I think this is who you're talking about. Just like on the basketball court with Zach, I think it's going to be on the baseball diamond as well. One thing's for sure is somebody's going to have to step up. Somebody's going to have to be that leader. This Edgewood Warriors team is a very, very talented team. And if all of these young men get the job done, they really can make some noise, at a regional, sectional, whatever level here in the tournament. But you got to win the first game. You got to every game. One of my favorite sayings that I've seen is we start 0-0 every day. So every game is today's game. That's the one you have to worry about. And then Drew Lafter, who's going to be playing outfield for the Edgewood Warriors. This is a kid who stepped up a little bit later into the season for the Edgewood Warriors last year, and provided some quality at bats for them. He's an outfielder for them, but it was his bat last year that really made a difference for Edgewood. And I'm really looking forward to seeing. I think Coach Barger does just a phenomenal job of managing the talent that they have over at Edgewood. There's a lot of kids with a lot of different abilities and a lot of different levels of ability, and he does just such a good job of getting it all to mesh well, where Edgewood they're a big time team when it comes to baseball. Nobody wants to pull Edgewood in the tournament. Absolutely not. Those guys, they got a bunch of kids who are playing on travel baseball teams, and they got a bunch of baseball guys. And that's one of the things you're going to hear when we talk about baseball teams and we do these previews. What teams have baseball guys? Edgewood's got a bunch of them. So that's going to be my preview for the Edgewood Warriors today. I want to thank you all for joining us so much Tuesday here on March 7th for the 440 Sports Show. Make sure you tune in tonight to ysnlive.com as we head over to Edgewood for the Senior Classic. And that's all I got for you guys today. I'm going to come back and we'll be doing this again tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're going to see you guys then. Thanks so much for joining Sam Torres, 440 Sports Show.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the football. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. Switch for the football.